Have you ever wondered where lies the boundary between true faith and the realm beyond human imagination? Across our planet, there exist sacred structures that seem almost otherworldly. They do not merely defy the laws of physics and modern architectural norms. They harbour secrets buried deep by the sands of time. Some are suspended on sheer cliff faces, 3,000 meters high, where only eagles dare to tread. Require you to step directly into the gaping maw of an ancient stone leviathan, just to access the sacred realm within. Some are coiled tightly in the embrace of a giant blue dragon, while others were carved entirely out of a single monolithic mountain, displacing hundreds of thousands of tons of rock through methods that defy all logic. Who built them? What lost, miraculous technology of the past was used? Or were they all guided by an unexplainable supernatural spiritual force? Fasten your seatbelts and brace yourselves for the incredible. Right now, we embark on a breathtaking journey to uncover the top 10 most bizarre and mysterious temples on Earth. Saying goodbye to the bustling city of Bangkok, our first stop brings us to Nakhon Pathom, home to one of Thailand's most extraordinary and bizarre architectural wonders, Wat Samphran, known to the world by its haunting title, the Dragon Temple. Imagine a vibrant pink 17-story tower reaching 80 meters into the sky. But what makes it utterly unique on this planet is not its height nor its striking color, but a colossal mythical beast. An emerald green dragon with shimmering golden scales, coiling tightly around the entire structure from its base to its highest peak. Its majestic head, sculpted in deep Oriental mythological style, roars outward into the open sky as if guarding an unrevealed spiritual treasure or secret. Yet, the mystery of Wat Samphran goes far beyond its exterior. For decades, this site was virtually absent from most official Thai tourism maps. No one knows for sure who drew its bizarre original blueprints. Legend has it that in the late 20th century, an abbot named Luang Pho Bhavana Buddho fell into a deep meditation lasting 7 days and 7 nights. In that transcendent state, he envisioned a surreal prophecy, a giant dragon wrapped around a tower of radiant light. Upon awakening, he vowed to bring that vision into reality. The tower was built to exactly 80 meters, a sacred number representing the 80 years of Buddha's earthly life. But what truly ignites the curiosity of explorers lies deep within the dragon's body. Unlike conventional towers with inner elevators or spiral staircases, the only path to conquer the summit of Wat Samphran is by walking inside the hollow belly of the dragon itself. Entering through the dragon's tail at the base, the surrounding environment abruptly turns dark, humid and eerily quiet. The stepless, inclined tunnel, dimly lit by faint yellow lamps, twists endlessly, following the curves of the mythical beast. Every step inside the dragon's core evokes a surreal, disorienting feeling, as though you are literally navigating the digestive tract of a legendary creature. After an exhausting, breathtaking climb through this claustrophobic space, you emerge directly from the dragon's mouth on the top floor. Here, a vast panorama unfolds before your eyes. At the center of the peak stands a brilliant golden Buddha statue, gazing directly at the massive dragon head looking down upon the mortal world. Cool, high-altitude breezes carry the ringing chime of wind bells, instantly dissolving the gloom of the dark tunnel below. Why was a dragon, a creature deeply rooted in Chinese mythology, chosen to encircle a traditional Thai Theravada Buddhist temple? Is this structure merely an artistic manifestation born from a dream, or does it align with an ancient, undiscovered power of feng shui? Wat Samphran is more than just a destination. It is a bizarre, mesmerizing spiritual experience, where the boundary between myth and reality vanishes completely. Leaving the Dragon Temple of Wat Samphran behind, our journey leads us to the Ellora Valley in India to stand before an even more breathtaking mystery, the Kailasa Temple, Cave 16, where ancient hands carved an entire mountain into a sanctuary without using a single brick. Imagine a massive Hindu temple complex, twice the size of the Parthenon in Greece and as tall as a 12-story building. But what sends chills down the spine of anyone who witnesses it for the first time is not merely its scale, but this extraordinary truth. This temple was not constructed by stacking carved blocks of stone. It was sculpted in its entirety out of a single monolithic basalt cliff. In the 8th century, under the reign of King Krishna I, ancient artisans embarked on what seemed like a madness-driven crusade, with no machinery, no cranes, lasers, or computer modeling, armed with only chisels, hammers, and bare hands. Yet, the most mind-bendingly impossible aspect lies in their construction method. They carved the temple from the top of the mountain downwards. Consider the absolute terrifying risk of this engineering technique. When you build a temple from the ground up, a broken stone can simply be discarded and replaced. But when carving down into a single massive rock, a single miscalculated strike or an unexpected fracture would permanently ruin a project representing decades of labor. There was no second chance. Artisans excavated and removed over 400,000 tons of solid rock from the heart of the mountain. Yet, to this day, geologists remain utterly baffled by an unsolved enigma. Where did those 400,000 tons of displaced stone go when no ancient dumping sites or debris fields exist anywhere around the Ellora region? Stepping through the stone gateway into the inner courtyard, you are instantly overwhelmed by an insane level of detail. Giant stone elephants, carved directly from the monolith, appear to hold the entire sanctuary upon their backs. Thousands of intricate bas-reliefs depicting epic battles from the Ramayana and Mahabharata stretch along the stone walls. Every pillar, corridor, and subterranean chamber is perfectly flush, symmetrical down to the millimeter, an absolute precision that modern automated cutters would struggle to replicate today. Legend has it that the king vowed to fast until he could see the summit of the temple completed. To save the king from starvation, a genius architect conceived the idea of carving from the top down, allowing the spire to emerge first in just a matter of days. But that is myth. In reality, how could 400,000 tons of rock be cleared in a span of just 18 to 20 years using primitive tools? Mathematically, stonecutters would have had to remove dozens of tons of rock every single day without making a single mistake. Was this purely an impossible feat of ancient human labor? Or does Kailasa conceal the aid of a forgotten technology? A lost civilization that once walked the earth? Kailasa is more than a spiritual masterpiece honoring Lord Shiva. It is an architectural triumph that defies every law of physics and time. A monumental enigma carved into the heart of the Indian stone, waiting for the world to unravel. Leaving the carved rock walls of India behind, our journey soars up to the limestone cliffs of the Himalayas in Bhutan, 3,100 meters above sea level. Veiled in swirling mist over a sheer 900-meter drop lies Paro Taktsang, the Tiger's Nest Monastery. Perched precariously on the absolute edge of a 900-meter abyss, Paro Taktsang appears almost like a surreal hallucination drawn straight from an ancient myth. The temple clings desperately to the vertical cliffside, looking as though it were lowered gently from the heavens rather than built by human hands. The mystery of this sanctuary originates from an 8th century legend. It is said that Guru Padmasambhava, the revered master who brought Buddhism to Bhutan, flew to this mountain peak on the back of a mythical flying tigress. There, inside a dark cave hidden deep within the rock face, he meditated for 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days to subdue the demonic spirits tormenting the valley. Thus, the name Tiger's Nest was born, transforming this cliffside into the most sacred spiritual haven in the Kingdom of Bhutan. To reach this legendary temple today, pilgrims must endure a breathless hours-long trek. The trail winds steeply through ancient pine forests covered in hanging moss, where the air thins with every upward step and the biting cold grips every breath. Thick Himalayan fog continuously sweeps across the canyon. one moment enveloping the entire monastery in silent, lonely isolation, and the next parting dramatically under the sunlight to reveal gilded roofs glittering against the sheer rock face. Only when stepping onto the final stone steps and crossing the bridge spanning a roaring waterfall do you truly grasp the impossibility of this structure. 4 main halls and residential quarters are interconnected by narrow pathways carved directly into the cliff and wooden bridges suspended over the terrifying void. A question burns deep in the mind of every explorer standing here. In the 17th century, when the monastery was officially constructed around the ancient cave, how could humans possibly transport thousands of tons of timber, stone, mortar and gold, plating up such a breathless vertical precipice? There were no paved roads, no cranes, and no modern safety gear. Was this purely the extraordinary sacrifice of thousands driven by absolute faith? Or was a supernatural spiritual force truly guiding their hands to create this masterpiece among the clouds? Paro Taktsang is far more than a marvel of architecture. It is the ultimate symbol of harmony between humanity, majestic nature, and the infinite spiritual realm. A place where the boundary between earth and sky seems to vanish entirely. Leaving the cloud-wrapped Himalayas behind, our journey takes us back to Chiang Rai, Thailand, to step into a deeply haunting realm, Wat Rong Khun, or the White Temple, where the line separating heaven and hell is exposed in its rawest form. A striking departure from the shimmering gold-plated temples typical of Thailand, Wat Rong Khun emerges like a frozen palace straight out of a dream or a surreal Gothic tale. The entire complex is clad in absolute immaculate white, accented by millions of tiny glass fragments that glisten in the sunlight. In the philosophy of its creator, the white hue represents the flawless purity of the Buddha, while the sparkling mirror pieces symbolize his wisdom illuminating the universe. Yet, the bizarre and shocking nature of the White Temple truly unveils itself only as you approach the main sanctuary. To enter, you are forced to cross a bridge known as the Bridge of the Cycle of Rebirth. Directly beneath it lies a gaping pit, where thousands of stark white plaster hands reach upward from the earth, emaciated, twisted, and consumed by desperation. Some hands stretch high, holding begging bowls. Others are broken, clawing at the air in silent agony. This is a chilling metaphor for hell, a manifestation of human greed, endless desire, and worldly temptation. Walking across this bridge is a breathless experience, as if suspended directly between life and death. And the ultimate spiritual rule here is absolute. You may only move forward. You must never look back. However, the surprises crafted by master artist Chalermshai Kositpipat do not end there. Leaving behind the sea of reaching hands in the underworld, passing through the main threshold into the inner sanctum, brings you face to face with a baffling, surreal contemporary art display. Adorning the vibrant murals, instead of traditional Buddhist legends, are painted images of Batman, Superman, Neo from The Matrix, Pikachu, and even the devastating global tragedy of September 11th. Why do pop culture icons and modern catastrophes appear inside a sacred Buddhist sanctuary? This is the profound philosophical riddle posed to every explorer. By placing fictional superheroes and man-made conflicts within a sacred space, Wat Rong Khun delivers a subtle yet powerful message. No advanced weaponry, technology, or fictional hero can save humanity from self-destruction, except for human awakening and inner peace found within oneself. Wat Rong Khun is not merely a temple. It is a haunting masterpiece, a mirror reflecting humanity's darkest depths and ultimate redemption. A place where pure beauty and absolute terror coexist just a single step apart. Leaving Thailand, we board a flight to the mystical island of Bali, Indonesia. Tucked away within a dense tropical rainforest near the town of Ubud, Goa Gajah, also known as the Elephant Cave Temple, exudes an atmosphere that is eerily quiet, ancient, and moss-draped. The moment you descend into the temple's sunken basin, your eyes are instantly captured by the facade of a monolithic stone cave. This is no ordinary rock wall. It is the giant face of the demon god Kaila, carved directly into the volcanic cliff face. The monster, with its bulging, menacing eyes, hands outstretched as if ready to seize you, and a gaping maw, serves as the sole entrance into the cave's dark interior. Passing through that shadowy stone mouth is a breathless sensation. It feels as though you are willingly allowing a mythical beast to swallow you whole into the depths of the earth. Once you step beyond the monstrous gateway, the surrounding atmosphere shifts instantly. The humid heat of the rainforest surrenders to damp, silent chilliness. The cave's interior was carved into a narrow T-shaped layout. In the dim glow of oil lamps flickering against rough black rock walls, you catch sight of small stone niches scattered along the passageway, where monks from 1,000 years ago sat meditating for months on end in profound solitude. Where monks from 1,000 years ago sat meditating for months on end in profound solitude. At either end of the T intersection rest ancient stone altars, housing a statue of the elephant-headed deity Ganesha and 3 sacred Hindu lingams. The thick scent of incense, mingling with the damp, earthy odor of age-old rock, creates a heavy, haunting spiritual aura. Yet, the mystery of Goa Gajah does not end inside the dark cavern. Stepping back outside, directly before the cave entrance, lies an ancient royal bathing pool that remained buried under volcanic debris for centuries. Framed by stone walls, blanketed in green moss, 6 statues of goddesses stand in a row, holding urns across their waists that continuously spout fresh groundwater drawn from deep within the mountain. A geographical riddle continues to baffle researchers. Why is this shrine called the Elephant Cave when the island of Bali was never a natural habitat for elephants in recorded history? Does the name stem from the nearby Patanu River, once known as the Elephant River, or from the statue of the deity Ganesha housed within? Or perhaps did the ancients witness a colossal creature that history has forgotten? Goa Gajah remains there in silent slumber beneath the ancient jungle canopy of Bali, a miraculous architectural blend of Buddhism and Hinduism, guarding ancient spiritual rituals buried by time. Leaving the dark subterranean realm of Bali, our journey carries us back to southern India to face a visual explosion of awe. The Sri Ranganathaswamy Temple, the largest functioning Hindu temple complex in the world. Sprawling over an astonishing area of 63 hectares, equivalent to more than 156 acres, Sri Ranganathaswamy was constructed following a strange concentric geographical layout. The entire complex is enclosed by 7 massive stone outer walls, stretching for a total length of over 9 kilometers. The most striking visual highlight, one that leaves any drone or camera lens breathless, is its system of 21 monumental gateway towers, known as gopurams. The main tower, the Rajagopuram, soars up to 73 meters into the air, equivalent to a 24-story building. Viewed from above, these towers resemble towering, vibrant, multicolored pyramids, leaning upon one another, reaching directly toward the Indian sky. As you draw near, you are struck with amazement by the insane degree of detail. The entire surface of all 21 towers is densely covered with thousands upon thousands of mythological statues, deities, savior figures, and sacred creatures, sculpted with vivid life-likeness and painted in the boldest hues: reds, blues, yellows, and oranges. Each tower stands as a priceless epic carved in stone. The strangeness of Sri Ranganathaswamy also lies in the spatial rules governing its spiritual organization. The temple functions almost like an ancient, multi-layered city. Within the 3 outermost wall rings, daily life thrums with incredible energy. Vibrant bazaars, spice markets, and residential quarters inhabited for generations. Yet, as you penetrate deeper through each successive stone gateway toward the core, the atmosphere becomes increasingly solemn, serene, and sacred. Most notably, at the 7th innermost wall, the heart of the entire complex, housing the gold-plated sanctuary where the statue of Lord Vishnu reposes upon the divine serpent Ananta. An extremely strict rule has been enforced for thousands of years. Non-Hindus are permanently forbidden from stepping inside. Hidden behind those thick stone walls and the heavy wooden doors of the innermost enclosure lie ancient rituals conducted strictly in darkness. Whispers of a secret subterranean tunnel network, constructed during medieval wars to link the temple with surrounding fortresses and conceal vast treasures, remain a compelling unsolved question for Western researchers. Sri Ranganathaswamy is far more than an architectural masterpiece. It is a living labyrinth, where the line between everyday life and the sacred realm, between earthly color and thousand-year secrets, is woven together in absolute perfection. Leaving the vibrant temple city of India behind, our journey sails out into the open ocean toward the shores of Prambanan, Bali, where a sanctuary stands resolute like a solitary fortress, Tanah Lot. In the local Balinese language, Tanah Lot translates to land in the sea, and that title accurately describes the sheer anomaly of this shrine. The mystique of Tanah Lot is intricately bound to the miraculous and relentless rise and fall of the tides. At low tide, the sea retreats to expose a rugged, narrow stone path connecting the mainland to the temple. Visitors can easily cross the exposed seabed to reach the base of the rock. But as dusk begins to fall and the tide swells, white-capped waves of the Indian Ocean surge forward, completely swallowing the stone path beneath churning turquoise waters. In the blink of an eye, Tanah Lot morphs into a lonely island, utterly isolated amidst a vast, menacing sea. Built in the 16th century by the legendary sage Dang Hyang Niratha, Tanah Lot is one of 7 sea temples forming a chain of spiritual protection along the Balinese coastline. Yet, what makes this site so deeply mysterious to explorers goes far beyond its shifting tidal phenomenon. Directly beneath the temple's rocky base lies a small cave, shrouded in the crashing surf. Inside this pitch-black cavern flows an enigmatic freshwater spring, a geological riddle, as pure fresh water gushes endlessly from the center of a salty ocean environment. Pilgrims frequently wash their faces in this sacred stream, seeking purification and blessings. Furthermore, local Balinese strictly believe that deep within the dark crevices below the temple resides a lethal spiritual guardian, highly venomous sea snakes with distinct black and white bands. Legend holds that these creatures were created from Sage Niratha's own sash to defend Tanah Lot against dark forces and trespassers. To this day, these silent sentinels are routinely spotted slithering around the temple's base at low tide, quietly guarding the tranquility of this sacred realm. Tanah Lot is not merely an architectural icon perched precarious against oceanic waves. It is a breathless crossroads of raw natural power, geological mysteries, and ancient legends that time has failed to erase. The danger faced amidst the lurking ocean waves of Tanah Lot pales in comparison to our next destination, a sanctuary that forces believers to gamble with their very lives upon vertical cliffs suspended in midair. Leaving Asia behind, we set foot on the dark continent, journeying into the remote Tigray Mountains of northern Ethiopia. Here lies the temple renowned as the most treacherous and inaccessible on earth, Abuna Yemata Guh. Perched at an elevation of 2,500 meters above sea level, this sanctuary was not erected upon a flat mountain peak. Instead, it was carved directly into the core of a sheer limestone pillar, thrusting out from the desert like a giant stone finger reaching into the sky. To set foot inside, you must endure a terrifying 2-hour climb. The final stretch is a slick 6-meter vertical rock wall. There are no safety ropes, no protective nets, and no stairs. Visitors and pilgrims are forced to remove their shoes, climb barefoot, and wedge their fingers and toes into tiny footholds carved into the rock face over 1,000 years ago. A single slip means plunging straight into the abyssal void below. Why would anyone hide a temple in a place so breathlessly dangerous? In the 5th century, A priest named Abuna Yemata chose this isolated stone pillar as a refuge to escape persecution from enemies and to seek absolute solitude for meditation. Driven by extraordinary perseverance, he single-handedly hollowed out the rock core to craft a small sanctuary suspended high above the desert floor. Once you conquer the fear of heights and shuffle across a